So, here's the real question. How do dentists like you, who aren't willing to let insurance dictate how you will run your practice, who want to create incredibly profitable practices without sacrificing your time or sanity, how do you create the strategies to ensure your practice not only survives, but thrives in the 21st century? That's the blaring question, and Dr. Steve Schlintz is here to provide the answers. Welcome to Dental Practice Freedom Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dr. Steve Schlintz, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Dental Practice Freedom Radio. And it is National Donut Day. And, you know, I was thinking to myself, I was scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, and I was like, wow, this is like actually not a good day to be on Instagram or Facebook because there's these pictures of donuts everywhere. And, you know, I'm not one to post about my food habits and stuff like that, but it is something that I've really been making a conscious effort to eat better, to exercise more, to eat better primarily. One of the things when you travel a lot, and this is something that I tell people, they ask me, like, what's the hardest thing if you're traveling? Because, you know, last week, for example, I was on 5 flights in a week. And they weren't long flights, but they were just constant flights. And I said, you know, what's the worst part about traveling? And I said, you know, when I first started, it was the plane trips. It was feeling lethargic a little bit, getting sick because you're on a plane all the time. I said, but you kind of get used to that. And even, you know, sleep patterns get kind of interrupted. And I was joking the other day, I woke up and it was the first time because I slept in like 4 different places that week. I woke up, I had no idea where I was. Like, I was like, what hotel is this? What city? Like, couldn't tell you. And so that's not great. But the hardest part, honestly, has been this push to eat healthier. And then you're always on the road. So it's actually very, very difficult. So I've tried to combat that a little bit by when I'm in Philly, for example, I use Instacart to have them deliver groceries to me. So rather than getting food that's already prepared, like I still have to prepare food myself for the few days that I'm here. Then I'm starting to take that same approach when I'm back in my practice, eating a lot more salads and things. But it can get really, really difficult. So you might be asking yourself, well, that's great, but what does that have to do with this podcast episode? Sorry. And, you know, the reality is National Donut Day because I'm a nerd and I have something in my throat. I'm sorry. Hopefully that doesn't come through too loud on the episode. But what does National Donut Day have to do with dentistry? And I thought about this. And I know that a lot of people are trying to eat healthier. And listen, I have nothing against donuts. It's one of the reasons I have to turn off. Like, donuts are one of my favorite foods. I love donuts, and I probably will eat a donut today. But think about the long-term impact of how other people perceive certain things and how that filters into your expectations and your perceptions. Like, we all know inherently that donuts are actually bad for us, but we still eat them. They give you short-term satisfaction. They taste great. And I thought about, you know, as I have started this journey for the last few years of building a more relationship, wellness-oriented practice, and having less patients, things like that, I think about National Donut Day. So I took a picture. I was going to post on Facebook. I didn't. Maybe I will later. I don't know. But I took a picture of hummus and carrots and was like, Happy National Hummus Day, as a joke to combat this donut day. I think of my practice a little bit like the hummus. It's not the most glamorous thing. It is not the tastiest thing sometimes, but long term, I know that by eating the hummus, I'm going to be set up for success. My body's going to thank me. You know, I have a lot of patients in my practice that are older. And when you hit 70, 75, 80, what you realize is like the people that didn't take care of themselves when they were earlier life really are suffering when they're about 70. And so the hummus sets me up for success, but I don't necessarily always want to have the hummus. The donut is kind of like what is being perpetuated in a lot of dentistry today, which is bigger practices, more and more production, more new patients, more marketing. And these things are all essential. But they're kind of like the donut in that I've seen the dentists that I even work with. When you get in that environment long term, you actually become very, very unhealthy. You get stressed out, you get overworked, and there's no real fulfillment there. But because everybody's talking about the donuts all day long, which is this practice model, you think maybe everybody's doing it, I should do it too. And honestly, the reality is I've taken what I coach and I can take it in any practice, especially the sales stuff and the mindset stuff. I could literally have any practice owner benefit from that. But the true dentists that I help move to a more relationship wellness-based model, those are the ones that over the course of the 3-year period, if they can get past that whole like self-perception thing of you lose patients, patients leave, you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to sustain this? Listen, people ask me all the time, like, if the economy crashed, what would you do in your practice? I said, I'd do what everybody else does. Like it's not gonna just affect wellness-based doctors. It's going to affect every doctor. And, their perception is, well, if you don't have, the patients, what happens when you have a recession and people aren't paying for your, high-end dentistry? My practice is profitable because of bread and butter dentistry as well. So I don't want people to get the perception the only thing I do is like full mouth cases. That's not true at all. I just do enough full mouth cases because I have patients moving towards wellness and they start to ask for that. But the majority of what I do in my practice is still based around perio. It's based around crown and bridge. But the orientation that I put my patients in is totally different. And so, in my opinion, I've had a decrease in patients every year for 5 years, and people go, well, that's not good. That means it's stagnant. I said, no, it means I'm streamlining my process. My profitability has also went up almost, I think, 120% in the last 4 years combined. Profitability has went up 120% in the last 4 years. Now, I'd have to double check the numbers, but it's skyrocketed. So the less patients I had, my profitability goes way up. So I always ask dentists, like, listen, what kind of model do you want? Like, what do you want to be doing with your life? And because there's models that work, but I would much rather be in that situation if the economy starts to tank, where I have patients that are dedicated to me and really are on a path of health and wellness, because guess what? Those patients will still spend money if they know it's going to help them get healthier. Patients that won't, they have no value for dentistry. They're not going to stay in an office even if insurance covered it or not. Because if you do a crown, you still have to pay half. I don't care what insurance company it is. Right? So the reality is those patients probably are going to leave any practice. So the donut, this production-based model, getting more new patients, having, all of this volume, it's not, to me, and I could be totally wrong, this is just my opinion, that donut's going to bother you in about 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. If you eat the hummus, which is the wellness-based practice, it may not be the most glamorous thing at the time. But I can guarantee you I'm going to feel a lot better by eating hummus on a daily basis than I am eating donuts. And so that's my little rant today on National Donut Day. And full disclaimer, I will probably eat at least 1 to 5 donuts today. But I know that's not how I live my life on a daily basis. Now, if I was to eat donuts and McDonald's and do this because everybody else is doing it, at some point, when you're doing what the masses are doing, and we're all following the same model, it doesn't work. Eventually, it becomes a very unhealthy situation. So think about that on Donut Day. Hopefully, you listen to this the day after Donut Day so you can go enjoy your donuts today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was my little rant of the day. In the next couple episodes, I'm really going to start to orient back towards the new patient process, creating a practice of freedom, really give you guys some value on how I structure some things. And obviously I can't teach you in my podcast what I can teach my clients. I think Dental Sales Secrets now has, 45 hours of content now. And now we're doing weekly Q&A calls with our students. So now it's starting to just monumentally grow. And the stuff that I combine with that and my mindset training, my sales training, it's really taking off. So I can't possibly teach you everything that you need to know on the podcast, but I'm trying to do my best so that you guys have the information you need to get you thinking differently about your practice. And if you guys are stuck and you're listening to this going, man, I'm really just not happy with where my practice is at, but I don't know what the next step should be, I do encourage you to reach out to me. Because I had a few people even this week that reached out to me. I couldn't help them directly, but I know people that could help them. And then I had some people that I could help directly, and I'm able to help them. So, my suggestion to you is if you're stuck, don't stay there because you don't know what the next step is. Go reach out, find some help, find some people that can get you where you want to go, and then take action. Make a decision and take action. I know I talk a lot about that on previous podcasts. The ability to make decisions is, in my opinion, now working with countless clients, countless dentists, countless coaches. The ability to make decisions and move on those is what separates successful people from not successful people. The successful from the not successful. That sounds better. That state of indecision, if you just don't know what the next step is, so you're not going to move, it's costing you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over your lifetime because you just are not moving. I love the analogy that some people use. It's like, listen, the people that make a decision and take action, even if it's the wrong action, but they continually take action, they will still get to where they need to go a lot faster than the person that never moves, right? Because we can course correct as we're moving. It's kind of like a bike. You cannot balance the bike while you're not moving. You can only stay on the bike if you're moving. So you got to keep moving. You got to keep making decisions. You got to keep growing, developing, find the coaches, find the mentors that are going to help you get where you got to go. And, if I'm that coach for you, fantastic. If you're getting enough value out of the podcast that you like, hey, I'm moving, that's fantastic. A mission accomplished for me. But if you guys are stuck and you're looking for some direction, I highly encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you any way that I possibly can. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you at the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode on Dental Practice Freedom Radio with Dr. Steve Schlitz. We'll see you on the next episode.